Good morning. Notifications going out. We're live. Joey pointed his finger and told me we were live. Good morning. Hope you all had a nice weekend. We had a pretty Easter yesterday. I haven't seen very many bunny rabbits though. Hopefully you all liked your bunny rabbit as much as I did on Friday. If you did bunny rabbits with us last Friday, be sure and take a picture and post. I saw, let's see, I think it was Inez Gomez. Really cute picture. She put bunny rabbit ears on to hold her bunny rabbit and take a picture.
Alicia.
Hi, Alicia. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Casey. I need to see your bunny rabbits. Did you guys make bunny rabbits on Friday? I want to see what they look like. That was one of my favorite things we've done. I thought they turned out pretty cool. So if you have bunny rabbits you did Friday, have somebody snap a picture and post it on your Facebook page, but tag us at Idea Studio so I can see it. I want to see some bunny rabbits. Today we're using our colored pencils. You guys all got these cool sets of colored pencils in your activity bag this week. So we're going to use our colored pencils today.
Dana's there.
Mia and Evie, are you there?
Says Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. You guys will have to pull up the video from last week on Friday. Mia and Evie had a lot of schoolwork they were catching up on. And pull up the video of doing the rabbit. You'll really like it. You can do it with Mom later this week. Maybe this will be an easy week. This was the week y'all aren't supposed to have school, right? This is supposed to be Heritage Week. This is supposed to be our spring break week. A little different Heritage Week, which is probably good. I mean, I think it's supposed to rain off and on this week, so not bad that Heritage isn't going on this year. It wouldn't be a very good week for it. But since you're supposed to be on spring break, does that mean y'all don't have schoolwork this week? Or are they just trying to catch up so much with you at home that you still haven't? So let me know. Somebody type in a message. Tell me if you have school this week.
Lydia loved the bunnies.
Lydia?
And Patrick.
Oh, did you guys do your bunnies? I thought they turned out really, really cool. It was one of my favorite watercolor projects we've done. So have Mom take a picture and post. I want to see what they look like.
Nick's watching.
Hi, Nick. Did you do
Oh.
your rabbit? If you did your rabbit, have Mom take a picture for me. I want to see it.
There's Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. We are going to do watercolor today. So while we're waiting for people to get signed on, you can get your little pack of watercolor pencils out, or not watercolor pencils, colored pencils out. So you should have a whole set of colored pencils. We got 12 different colors. They work really nicely. And we're going to use a piece of black paper today. So get your black paper. You can pull the cardboard off the back of your clipboard where your papers are, because we're going to use that to make a horizon line. So get your black paper, take the cardboard off the back. We're going to make fireworks today.
Yeah, no schoolwork this week.
No schoolwork this week. Yay! I think some of you have probably worked harder at home with all the lessons the teachers are putting on than you do at school. Sometimes it's easier to do a lesson in person. You have to concentrate more when you're doing it by yourself at home. Yay, no schoolwork. We get a week off together. So you can just do art all day long, right? I bet some of you've got watercolor left in your little pots. I know my little pots had plenty of watercolor left in them. You just need watercolor paper. So we've got a number that are signed on.
Yeah.
So today we are doing fireworks. We're going to pretend we're already through all of this, stay at home, and maybe for 4th of July, we will actually get to have fireworks and be outside again. So this is like our inspiration, a ray of hope. If we all make firework pictures, maybe we'll make it by 4th of July. So you need to get your black paper. I think you should have 2 pieces of black paper this week. So get one of your black papers out, and we're going to use the little cardboard that your papers are clipped to make ourselves a horizon line. So get that little piece of cardboard, get your black piece of paper, and get your pack of colored pencils out. We have a whole pack of colored pencils this week in your activity bag, so you can roll that rubber band off.
Nice color pencils too.
They're very nice colored pencils. So, we got 12 different colors of colored pencils. We're going to use a number of them today with our fireworks, because I think you see fireworks in just about every color. When we watch the fireworks each summer, I think we see just about all these colors. I'm going to show you which work a little better on our black paper. We're going to use these again during the week. We're actually going to do a summer picnic kind of project. So we'll use a lot of these colors. Some of them will show up on our black paper really nicely. Some will show up better on our white paper later this week. So, while you guys get your colored pencils, if you've got a little pencil sharpener around the house, you can go find that. I didn't really need to sharpen my pencils till I was done with this project. So, if you've got a pencil sharpener, you can find that. Otherwise, I'm going to have Joey move the camera in and we're going to get ready to do our fireworks here.
Morgan said good morning.
Good morning, Morgan. I got two Morgans out there. Is this Morgan
Row.
Rowe? Hello, Morgan Rowe. I had another Morgan join us this week. I met her when she came to pick her bag up. Morgan Congleton. So we got two Morgans out there. I think I got 3 Olivias out there. Okay. Mr. Joey's getting us all set up here. I'm going to put our sample down here. I'm going to hang on to my rubber band because it's a good way to keep my pencils together.
Ella, Olivia, and Julia are there.
Oh, hi, Ella.
Brandon's on.
Hi, Brandon. Brandon just had his birthday party here before everything shut down. I'm going to move my pencil so I can turn like this. Is this good? Mr. Joey's getting me set up here. Oh, he's moving me over here. Okay, is that good, Joey?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put the pencils here. You know what? I'm going to get a little cup to stand my pencils in because these pencils are round. You know, sometimes your school pencils that you use have little flat edges around them like an octagon. Those pencils don't roll off the table. These pencils are round all the way around. So I'm going to put them in a cup. Otherwise, all through our broadcast here, they'll be rolling off my table and falling on the floor. So if you've got a cup, you can put your pencils in a cup. That'll be a good way to use them this week because we're going to use them a bunch this week. I'm going to shift my chair a little bit so I can face my paper. You don't see me, right? You just see my papers? Okay. So, okay. Are we ready? We got your black paper, you got your pencils. Pencils were already sharpened when I put them in your bag, so we should be good to go. We're going to start by using our cardboard here. This makes a great straight edge. And the coolest thing about our cardboard is it's at a perfectly 90-degree right angle, so we can use it like we would a square and make straight lines going across. First thing we're going to do is give ourselves a horizon line. See my fireworks I made? It's inspired by living on Hilton Head. We are very lucky that we live by the water because our fireworks are shot off from a barge out in the middle of the water. So if anything happened, it's not going to catch anything on fire around the fireworks because they're sitting in the middle of the water. So we're going to put a little horizon line on right here. This is where the land is, and then we're out in the water here because you can see the reflection of our fireworks from up here down here. I've got all kinds of different color fireworks. I think the red, white, and blue shows up really nicely. So think of making one red, white, and blue, but do you have to make your fireworks the same color as mine? No. You're the artist. I'm going to show you some techniques with making fireworks that make them look more like fireworks instead of beach balls up in the sky. So I'll give you some hints, but you could use all kinds of different color combinations. I like this blue and white one. They show up really nicely. I think the yellow and the red show up nicely. Mr. Mark wasn't impressed with my green fireworks, but Mr. Joey looked up and there are green fireworks. I think there's probably fireworks in every color you could imagine. So you can look at your colored pencils here and think of all kinds of combinations. You can look at our color wheel here, and that can inspire you for some good color combinations. Colors that are right next to each other go nicely together. Colors that are opposite each other are called complementary colors, and they're supposed to go nicely together. Blue and orange, red and green, that's Christmas colors, purple and yellow. Colors, if we were making a hot summer firework, we could use colors that line up next to each other like this. Your reds and your oranges and yellows would make a very hot, fiery firework. We could use some blues and purples and greens together, and it's going to look more like a cool firework. Okay, so you can think about what colors you're going to make your fireworks. Whoops, I'm going to pick up our, can't pick it up. There we go. We're going to put that back out of the way so we can see our picture. The first thing we're going to do is use the straight side of our cardboard here to make a horizon line. Now here's about the middle of my paper, on my firework paper here. So we want to have more room in the top half of our picture to put lots of big fireworks, small fireworks, drippy fireworks, booming fireworks. So I'm going to say, here's the middle of my paper. I'm going to move my horizon line down a little ways below that. And what we can do to make a nice straight horizon line is take your cardboard. We're going to use our white pencil. Take your white card, or take your piece of cardboard here. I got to move mine up a minute because Joey's camera's right here. Here's about the middle of my paper, right? Put your finger there. I want to put my horizon line below that. To make sure it goes straight across the paper, I don't want my horizon line to go tipping down like this. I'm going to line up this side of the cardboard with the side of the paper. So they're lined up just right. Oops. And then I can use this to draw my horizon line. Now, don't make a solid line all the way across. It'll look really, really cool if we just make a line that's kind of dotted. So I'm going to use my white pencil. I'm just going to put a few, I'm going to go along and just put a few little dots here. Some little short lines. Okay, you can kind of see. We want to go along where the top of your cardboard was, but we don't need to draw a line all the way across. We just need a few little dots to kind of show us where the water is going to start, okay? So you can put the cardboard out of the way. We won't need it again. And here's how I'm going to start. The water is going to be the last thing we do because the water is reflecting whatever we do up here. So I see this big red, white, and blue firework here. So when I go down in the water, I see it down here. I have this little blue and white one over here. So I see a little blue and white one down here in the water. So the water, we're going to leave all of this for the end because we have to decide what's going to be up here, and that's going to determine what we see down here in the water. So the way I started was I drew my little barge in the water, and I put some lines for the kind of, I call them booming fireworks. You know, the ones that just go spiraling up like one little white line, and then at the top they just make this huge loud boom. I'm going to put some little fireworks like that going up first. So they're going to kind of be behind all the big ones that we put. So this is my horizon line where I'm going to see a little hint of some trees or some buildings back there. So I'm going to go down below it. I'm going to put my barge not in the middle of the paper. This would be the middle of my paper, right? Right about in here. So I'm going to put the barge over to the right a little bit. So here's the, if I was down in the water, I'm going to come below my horizon line a little bit. I'm going to go over to the right a little bit, and I'm going to put one little line for the bottom of the barge. I'm going to put two little straight lines on the ends and put the little top of the barge. So we're making a very, very skinny little rectangle there. I'm going to light up, I'm going to leave a little bit of black on the bottom of it. I'm going to color in a lot of it, because if all the fireworks are shooting off, it's going to light up the edges of the barge. So I'm going to put just this little rectangle in the water. I don't know that it looks a lot like a barge, but that's going to be my barge. Just going to give the impression. I might hang the edges of the top of the barge over a little bit. Okay? So that's going to give the impression we got a barge in the water. And I'm going to shoot up some of these booming fireworks. Now, when we draw a line for the fireworks, they look the most like fireworks if we don't get a real solid line. See how a lot of my lines for the fireworks are like little dashes and they have spaces in between them? Even when we do fireworks like this, some of my lines aren't solid all the way out. They start getting little dashes to them. So I'm going to make some lines come up from here, just like I'm shooting up a really skinny fountain of water. So I'm going to have one come right from the middle of the barge here, and I'll have it come up, skip a little space, go shooting off up here. I might have another one come up here, and maybe we'll have a few that haven't boomed yet. I can make some little crisscrosses at the top where these boom. Maybe we'll have some down here that haven't boomed. I'll make a little circle on the top where I'm going to put a few of my booming fireworks here. And I'll connect and put a little line coming down. So there's some fireworks shooting off of my barge. And now we're going to draw some fireworks in front of those. We're going to get all our fireworks that have shot up and opened up into big circles. Now, you notice some of my circles, the lines come straight out like spokes on a bicycle wheel. And some of them, they curve, like they're dripping down and opening up like a flower. So I kind of like both kinds. This is one of those that shoots up and then it kind of drips down. So I'm going to start with a firework a little on the small side. That'll kind of let you see which colors you like, how you want to do it. So I might start with a small one like over here. And I'm going to use my white. And what we want to do when we're making all these lines, look at this one I've got right here. Can we see this really well, Joey? See how I've left a lot of the black spaces that you see in between the lines? When we leave these black spaces, it makes it look a lot more like a firework. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make like a round firework. And I'm going to start with the middle of it with a little bit of white. And I'm going to, just like I'm putting a few bicycle spokes. I need to move this way a little bit. Is this good, Joey? Okay. I'm going to make just a few little short spokes, and then I'm going to come out here. I'm going to like skip some spaces and put some more spokes coming out. I'm just going to leave some spaces in between those. So just like that line went out, but I'm going to leave some spaces in between. I'm going to add a few more. I might add some that just have some white out here at the edges. So we're ultimately making the whole bicycle wheel, but we're just adding little spokes and add some spaces in between. Then I gotta stop and decide because we want to keep some black spaces. So if I'm going to put a color with this white, I need to decide what color I'm going to use next. So I think I'm going to try, we've got 3 colored pencils here that look kind of reddish. You see all 3 of them? This one that looks more pink actually says red. This one that looks red says orange. And then this one says red orange. So the one I actually like the best, and you can try whichever colors you'd like. I'll show you what they're going to look like on mine. If we use the red, this colored pencil that looks a little more pink, this is what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to put some lines on here, just like I did with the white. I'm going to put a line coming out here, kind of right next to some of my white lines. I'm just going to leave some spaces. That's the one that says it's red. I kind of like this one that says it's red orange. Here's what it looks like. It just seems a little brighter to me. So I'm going to put a few little red lines of this red orange coming out. Now you can make a nice thick line like that. You can go make some of these lines a little thicker if you want. And my fireworks getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We can add some thick lines out here at the edges. So this is my red orange that I'm using. Kind of like it. Joey's like, eh.
No, the color difference, you can't really tell.
Yeah, you can't tell a big difference between them on the black paper. I think when we use these later this week on our white paper, you'll see a big difference. This is the one that says orange. So you want to see what it looks like too? I don't think there's much difference on the black paper. We can put some orange. If anything, the orange doesn't show up quite as well. See how I'm putting, when I add new color, I'm putting it close to the color I did before, so I still keep some of this nice black paper showing. So I put a little orange on there. You know what might look cool with this one? Is some yellow. I'll put my reds back in here and take my yellow out. Let's see what the yellow looks like. Yellow shows up. I'll put some yellow over there. I'll put some yellow out at the edges here. Sometimes on fireworks you see colors in the center and then you see different colors that pop out here at the edges. So I think we'll add some yellow to the outside edge of this firework. That one looks kind of nice. Now, see how much black we've left? I can put a little yellow on the inside here if I want. But we want to leave some of that nice black showing. So it looks like firework. I think I'll leave that one there. We can always add more to a firework. And I'm going to come make one of these really cool kind of curvy ones. Reminds me of a flower. And for this particular one, I think I might start with the blue. This light blue works really, really cool on the black paper. So I'm going to make a little firework like this. I kind of like where they overlap each other a little bit. So I might put this one right in here. Maybe. Yeah, I think I'm going to put him right in here. I'm going to start at the middle. It's kind of like making spokes on a bicycle, except we're going to let them be drippy and curvy. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to make a drippy curve. I'm just going to pick my pencil up every once in a while, so I don't have a solid line. Make some curve down this way. We can make one curve way down here like this. Maybe we'll make one curve right down into this firework. I see a little blue right over the top of that firework. Now the ones that are going to curve up this way aren't going to go quite as high. So I'll make them a little shorter. I can add some more little dots out here at the outside. Really like where they look like they're overlapping on top of this firework. So we'll put a few more in there. Some of your dots you can make a little thicker. And what color should we put with it? We could try this light purple with the blue. Want to see what that'll look like? We can add some more drippy lines. Remember, we want to keep, ooh, oh look, I like the light purple. We want to put lines on, but we want to keep them close to each other so we still see a lot of black in between them. Make a few little ones come out up here. Ooh, I do like that. Light purple shows up nicely. Maybe we'll make a little of this light purple come right over there. And let's see if we can get some light purple to show up right on top of this other firework. So it looks like this firework's dripping down right in front of that firework. I like the light purple. Light purple works well. Should we put a little bit of white with this firework? I think the white kind of makes it pop in some places. So we'll do a few little white lines in here. Remember, you don't want to fill in all the black spaces you've left, so try to put your extra lines right next to some of these. Oh, I like that firework. What do you think? That looks like a good one. I love watching fireworks, don't you? I'm constantly amazed that they can arrange all these little chemicals and these little things down on the barge, and they make these perfect shapes up in the sky with all these cool colors. Okay, so we've got this one and this one. I think we need maybe a nice big one over here, or we could put some little ones up in the sky over here. We could maybe put a little one over here, and then we'll put a big one up in here. So if we want to make a little one, I might start with, what color haven't we used? How about the green? Because we did look it up. There are green fireworks. How about if we put a really tiny little one like this? We'll put a little one over here. So I'll actually come and I'm going to make the outside of the firework first. Just like making the edges of the spokes on the bicycle. And maybe we'll make some in the middle. Okay, we'll put some in the middle here. Now, what color do you think would go? I could even put just some little dots out at the edge. What color do you think would go nicely with this green? Put just a little dot out at the edge. Some yellow with the green. Let's try the yellow with the green. Put some yellow in here. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Miss Jenny loves yellow. So we'll put some little yellow parts to this firework. I'm putting them close to the green, but not right on top of it. So I'm still leaving a little bit of black showing. I'm pressing kind of hard with my pencil. I discovered using the black paper is kind of neat. When we use white paper, you won't have to press so hard. But on the black paper, I'm pressing pretty hard to make my colors show up nicely on the black paper. So if you're having trouble having them show up, you might need to press just a little bit harder. Okay, kind of like our little yellow and green one. Do you think we should put another color in it? I kind of like the little, I think we need to pop a little white. Even if we don't use much of the white, I think the white kind of shows it off nicely. So every time we do a firework, we'll pick a few little spots to pop just a little white into a few little spots. I think the white kind of really sets it off nicely. So we'll pick just a few spots, even right out here at the edges, and we'll put a little white on it. That firework turned out nice. Now, should we make a really giant one? I really love my big giant red, white, and blue one. So I think we'll put a big giant one. And the big giant one, this one right here, it's kind of like we did this one where we're making curvy lines. So all the lines are coming from that center like the bicycle spokes, but they're curving as they come out. This one, we got some really big curves coming out. Okay, so I think we'll put this big giant one up in this area. Then we can add a few more small circle ones over here. This is like the grand finale of the fireworks, where they all start going off together and you see them all up in the sky together. So we're going to come over and do this one. So I'm going to look at where I want the middle of it. So it would be like the middle of the bicycle wheel. And I might give myself a little dot right in the middle. That's going to be my middle. And that way I know where all my curves are going to come from that middle. Okay? So I'm going to start, and some of these curves are longer. I don't get them so dotted in my big one. I want to see some longer ones. So I'm going to start with my white. I'm going to give myself a big curve that's going to come this way, right in front of this one. And where's this? This curve's gonna go right off my paper. And I'll make a curve come down into this one that we just did. And we'll have a curve come down this way. It kind of looks like the top of an umbrella. Think of the top of an umbrella, or if you go camping, like the top of your tent maybe. So now we're gonna have some come up here, and I'll curve one up this way, curve one up that way. Now I might skip a little space with some of my white lines. Skip space, skip a space, skip a space. Okay, I'm going to try to hold my pencil here so you can see a little better. It's a little hard to do when you're pressing hard, Mr. Joey. Okay, yeah, can't do that. Have you ever noticed you hold your pencil really tight down to the bottom when you have to press hard? This happens when you're painting too with a paintbrush. When you hold a paintbrush close to here, you press hard with your paint and get thick lines. When you hold your pencil back here, you can't hold it very tight, can you? Mr. Joey wanted me to try to hold my pencil back here, but I can't press hard when I do that. So, how about one more dotted coming out here? Yeah, that firework's gonna look cool. Okay, so we kind of have like the skeleton of it. And I'm gonna use this light blue because it shows up really cool. I like the light blue on here. So now I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna keep my lines maybe a little more dotted. And I'm going to try to leave black spaces in between. See how this firework looks really cool over here, where I see all that spaces in between it. When I start getting too much color, it starts looking a little more solid. And we want to see the spaces. So I'm going to use my blue, and I'm going to come in here and give some blue little dots of space here. Come down here. We can make some thicker lines. So sometimes on a big firework like this, it's easier to get your nice color to show up if you kind of press back and forth. It's almost like you're coloring in a thick line there. And since this is a big firework, we can have a little thicker lines. So instead of just making one line with your pencil, we can come in here and go back and forth on that line. Our lines can be a little thicker on this big giant firework than they were on this one. So you can come in and kind of color back and forth on that one line, and it'll show up more. We'll put a few blue ones over here. If you're following us at home and don't have an activity bag with these very cool colored pencils in them, this would be a project you could be doing with markers, crayons. If you had chalk pastels at home, oil pastels that we used earlier the other week. You all got a whole set of oil pastels in your bags. You could get out your oil pastels. Oil pastels would show up really cool on your black paper. You have to be really careful because oil pastels get really smudgy. So you won't have to press as hard with an oil pastel, and you have to make sure you don't get them all over your fingers because your sky would be full of smudgy clouds. Okay, we don't have any coming down this one. Let's make a few little blue pieces coming down there. Okay, what other color do we need? We need our red, and I think I actually used the red orange. That's the one that showed up the nicest here, was the red orange. So I'm going to use a little bit of red orange, and we'll add some red. I'm going to go right next to my blue. So, and I might go in between a little bit, but I want to leave a lot of the black space showing. Okay. So I'm making kind of thick lines, putting some out towards the outer edge. Ooh, this one's looking cool. We'll get a little red right on the inside, in the middle there.
I don't have one.
And we'll put a few little red parts over here. Little easier when you got a big firework like this that we can make some really thicker lines with. Makes it easier to press hard when you're making thicker lines here. Maybe in here we need to fill in just a little in here. Maybe we need like another white one right in there. Can make a little more with our white right there. Okay, what do you think? I kind of like our big giant 4th of July one here. Looks like a good firework. You can come back and add white in some places if you need to. Oh, see Mr. Joey's finger? He says we need some right here. Oh, that looks good. Good, Mr. Joey. We did need some right there. We'll put a few little white ones up here in the top. Oh, I like it. That makes a great 4th of July firework. Now, all my fireworks are right here. I think we need a couple popping up in the sky over here. So let's see. What have we not used? This light purple looked really pretty, but I got light purple right here. So maybe these colors that I see way over here would be fun to be over here. Don't really want a purple one right next to the purple one. So let's see. I want to do a purple one, but I don't want it right next to this purple one. So maybe, since I just really want a purple one, maybe I need to do a little one over here. Joey says over here. Up. Okay, how about if we make this one that's kind of drippy? That'd be kind of fun. So to do a drippy one, I just made some little scribbles. I didn't make it a solid little, almost like making a little cloud here. But see how I'm making little scribbles and I'm leaving spaces in between them. Almost like spots on a giraffe. Okay? And then I'm gonna let some drip down. I'm gonna wiggle my paper so it goes down. I'm gonna leave some spaces. Want them to be thicker. So leave some spaces. I'm gonna make them thicker though. Okay, now we need another color to go with that purple. The blue looks really nice with the purple, and then they'll look very matchy, but that's okay. I really like it. If you really like the color, then you should, oops, I picked up the purple. Blue, let's use some blue with it. Look how pretty that blue looks with it. Now remember, we want to leave some of the black spaces showing, so I'm almost putting the blue right on top of my purple. So we leave a little bit of black showing. So we're going to just put some little dots falling right down to the ground here. And then we'll put a little bit of white with it. There we go. The white almost like brightens it up in a few places. So put some little white next to our blue dots falling down. We'll put a little bit of white up in the top of it. Okay, there's my drippy firework. Okay, and we really need something right here in a different color. How about if we use our yellow? I'm gonna turn my paper a little. Can I do that, Mr. Joey?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's make one over here. That's a little round one like this maybe. So I'll put some yellow, like the middle of the spokes of the bicycle. And I'll come out here and put some more yellow. I'm gonna keep this one kind of small though. And then maybe we'll just do yellow and white. Yeah, it looks a little boring, doesn't it? Notice how I'm not putting the white every place, putting it right next to the yellow so I still see a lot of my black. And it needs one more color. Blue. Mr. Joey thinks blue. We could try this. I think the dark blue doesn't show up as much, but you want to see what it looks like? Oh yeah. No, dark blue's too close to black. Doesn't really show up. So that doesn't do much. I see it a little bit. Can you see it a little bit? I see it a little bit. But not enough to really see it. So we can put a little of the light blue on top of the dark blue, right next to it. There we go. We'll put a little light blue right next to where I put the dark blue. That makes our little tiny firework up in the sky there. Okay, I think my sky is looking pretty full of fireworks. You can add more if you'd like. You might put one up here if you wanted. You could add more if you'd like to. I have an odd number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. I guess we could count that as 7. And I'd have an odd number. Mr. Joey's rolling his eyes at me. Do we need to put another one?
You have 6 on here too.
Oh, my sample's got 6 on it too. How about if I turn this one into one right up here? See how my little boom was exploding right here? Kind of like the thought it's going to be kind of behind this one a little bit. How about that? Got some little dotted bicycle spokes coming right here. And
Actually looks cool.
yeah,
Just the white.
maybe we'll just leave that one in just white. I'll make a few of my lines a little thicker here. I kind of like it just white. Okay, so there. Now I have an odd number of fireworks. I have 7. And I got one right up here in this little corner that looked a little bare. Oh, I like that. Kind of looks like it's behind our big 4th of July one, doesn't it? Okay, now to really make this look like the barge is in the water, we're going to see a little reflection in the water. When you see a reflection in the water, it's reflecting what you see up here. It's like a mirror. The water serves as a mirror. So what we see here, if you flipped it upside down, would see it down here. But the difference is where we made bicycle spokes with our fireworks, the water is flat. So when we see things reflected in the water, it follows the shape of the water. So see my big red, white, and blue firework that I see here? It's up near the top of my page, so it's going to be down here near the bottom of the page. But I see it. It's kind of in a circle shape, but all the lines that make it up are horizontal, like the flat surface of the water. Here's this little guy right here, this yellow and red one. Now it's real close to the horizon, so its reflection is going to be closest to the horizon. See it right here? All my little horizontal lines kind of make up a kind of circle shape. And then what would this one go to? This one would match up with this one. So it's above the water line a little bit, so it's going to be a little farther away than this one. But all the lines are horizontal. So I'm going to take and make a little reflection down here of this big giant one first. So I'm going to put it down here. And what colors did we use? We used white. I think I used that red-orange. There it is. And I used this light blue. So I want to kind of make a circular shape. It's going to go right off the page. So I want to make it in a circle shape, but I want it to go right off the page down here. So I'm going to think of a circle shape. If you need to really lightly with your colored pencil, make yourself a circle shape. I don't know if you can even see that. You see how lightly I made the little circle shape? That'll show me where to put my horizontal lines. Then I can go in and I can add just some lines going straight across in a horizontal. I don't want them to be long lines. These are what would be like the ripples on the surface of the water. Just going to add some white. Then I can come in and add some blue. We're just making all the lines are parallel to each other. They're all horizontal like the ripples on the surface of the water. And I'll add a few little red ones in here too. We want to see some of the black of the paper showing through here too. We don't want to color it in solid. Then it would look like somebody had a blanket floating in the water. Okay, so there's my reflection from this one. Sometimes you're not going to see everything reflected in the water, but since this one's so close to the water, I bet I'd see some of this red and yellow reflected. So it would be down here in the water, so I kind of lightly want to give myself a circle shape. And I'm going to get some of my yellow, make some yellow lines, make some short lines in the middle, make some short lines out at the side, make some short lines at the top of the circle. The middle part of the circle is going to have the lines go out the farthest way. Then they're going to start staying closer in to make the bottom of the circle. And we've got red on here, so better use this red orange. You notice that my edge doesn't stay perfectly curved like a circle. Reflections kind of get mushed up in the water. The water moves, it kind of pulls the reflection one way and another, so we don't want anything too perfect. Do we see a little bit of white in this firework? So we'll see maybe a little bit of white in its reflection, not too much. So I'm just going to put a few little pieces of white in there. And let's see, what would be another good reflection we could see? We could see some of this purple and blue. It would be down in here. So I could make some blue there. That would be the top. Like kind of my semicircle there. Now I just have these long lines. So I have long lines. So I'm going to make some really short little lines coming down. So does that kind of look like an upside down shape of that? Kind of does. We'll put a little bit of white lines in there. And what other color do you see in this one? That maybe would see a little purple in the reflection. So my purple's right here. So maybe we'll see a little purple in the reflection. Okay, there's my water. Now, I kind of want my water to make sure it looks like water to me. So I might just carry a little bit of some little white lines rippling all the way through my water, like right through these reflections. Make a little bit of a wavy line to it. And I might see a little, do you think underneath the barge would see a little reflection of this big booming one go? So I might put just a few little lines. They're going to be skinniest at the barge, and they're going to get wider in a V, like an upside down V. They come down there. Okay. Now we need to make sure our horizon line, remember the first line we put in here, we want to make sure that that looks like the land back there. And with this barge shooting off all these fireworks, we're gonna kind of light up the ground back here. I have a few little buildings that got lit up in white, but I also took my green and I came right along here like I would see the tops of some trees. Now, they are very, 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 very short trees. Because this is far away that we're looking at. You wouldn't want to be close to a barge that's shooting off fireworks. So we're looking from way, way across at our ground here. So I'm going to put a few little trees along where my horizon line would be. And I could even put a little bit of green in the water in front of them. It's a little bit of reflection of my trees. I might take a little bit of white and make a really short little rectangle building I might see around here. We don't have very tall buildings. So I could make some little short rectangles and some low rectangles so we kind of look like we have some buildings back here. Maybe we're looking across a savanna that's got a few taller buildings than we have.
Could do a bridge.
Don't think we would see a bridge over here. Mr. Mark wanted to do a bridge. You could add just about anything you'd want back there. But I don't see any place I'd put a bridge. Guess I could put a bridge in between here if this water went up in a river like the May River goes off. So we could put a little tiny arch right there for a bridge. We'll put some little straight bottoms to our bridge. There we go. Okay, so we got a whole 4th of July fireworks scene going here. Did you get some good colors for your fireworks? Colored pencils are kind of cool to do on black paper. And wait till you see tomorrow we're going to use our colored pencils on white paper. So I'm going to let Mr. Joey pull the camera back and I'll hold up our fireworks. We'll put them up here. Okay, we got our fireworks. Here's my fireworks. So did you get cool firework pictures? I'm going to set them up here. These are my colored pencils. Find yourself a cup that you can put your colored pencils in. Oh, I like the fireworks. Oh, look, they line up. My horizon line almost ended up in exactly the same place. Look at that. It looks like oh, look. It looks like I just have one continuous sky of fireworks here. Can you see it, Mr. Joey, or do I need to hold them up? Doesn't that look cool? Oh my gosh, that looks really cool. If you have more black construction paper at home, you could get yourself another piece and you could make a whole scene of fireworks going across here. This looks really cool. Tomorrow we're going to use one of your pieces of white paper that are in there. I didn't label them today because we only have one kind of white paper in your pack this week. We're not doing any watercolor this week, so we don't have watercolor paper. So all your white paper is the same. So tomorrow you'll just need to get one of those white pieces of paper and we will do our project together tomorrow. We've got people already signing up for bags for the next 2 weeks. So be sure and get your bags signed up for. Next week we are going to do a painting. We have stacks of canvases that you can't see behind the camera range here. We have stacks of canvases. We're going to have a stretched canvas in your bag next week and pots of paint and brushes. And we're going to do a painting together next week. And we've even thought of another clay project that you're going to do. We also are getting ready to do a trial run this week to make sure we know what we're doing. And we're going to do some painting parties for adults. So we're doing our trial run in a couple days to make sure we know how to do it so it'll work when we do it for real. And we've got some very cool paintings that parents. So watch for your posts. Take a picture of your fireworks, particularly if you're working together. Line them all up and let's see a whole low country sky full of fireworks. Be sure and tag us, put that little @Idea Studio. And don't forget, I want to see some pictures of rabbits too. I haven't seen very many rabbits. So we will see you in the morning. Bye.